Hello, ODAC basketball fans, and welcome to this edition of the preseason interviews with some of our coaches. I've got four of them here for you in this setup. We have in the upper left-hand corner of your screen is Coach Enright from Bridgewater College. The upper right is Coach Kimbrough from Hampden-Sydney College. Your lower left is Coach Nunley from Roanoke College, and lower right is Coach Merkel from Randolph-Macon College. Gentlemen, collectively, how are you doing today?
Doing good.
JJ.
Good. Good to see y'all. We want to hop into this here pretty quick. So this is common for both of you, and I'm going to ask you guys just go in alphabetical order for me, starting with Coach Enright. But give me an idea on the state of your programs here and what's become more of a normal preseason for you. Coach Enright, start up.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for us. We have a big freshman class. So excited about that and getting to work with those guys. It's nice to have a normal cycle of preseason voluntary strength and conditioning work, leading up to October 15th, and then, getting to rev up practice on the 15th, like we all have. So it's been exciting to have a normal calendar of events, so far as our preseason and start of practice go. We returned a decent amount of production from our shortened season last year, and just looking to blend that group with our newcomers of, like I said, a large freshman class. So, feeling optimistic about getting started and looking, to take a step forward with our program this season.
Coach Kimbrough.
Yeah, we're very excited as well. I mean, we have two seniors in Jack Wyatt and Jake Hahn. Jake, having come back for a fifth year, I think gives us some senior leadership. It's been nice. I'm going into my third year here now, so I think the guys finally understand how we operate, and that's in the preseason and kind of heading into the first week of practice, this past week being the first week of practice. I think it's been a little bit more smooth. We've been able to pick up on things quicker. We do have a big sophomore class. We have a junior class that played a lot, or several of the guys played a lot as freshmen. So I think the guys are excited. It's interesting because last year was so different. We're still trying to piece it together and build on some of the momentum we had year one, but we love the group and the guys love each other, and it's a lot of fun to be around them right now.
Coach Merkel.
Yeah, well, I would echo what Steve and Caleb had to say. Just a lot of fun. Great to be back on the floor. Great to have use of the locker room again. That might be one of the most exciting things, just getting back in there and competing in between the lines, but then, being able to have some fun and grow those relationships and continue to connect on and off. But closing gaps and working to get better and working to stay healthy as we figure out how to, compete against others.
Coach Nunley, please.
Yeah, just thankful that we're able to enjoy what we've been able to enjoy so far this fall. That's been more of a return to normalcy. And our team had a lot of experience coming back on paper. I think as a coach, obviously that's something that's a valuable asset to have. So feel fortunate in that regard. The biggest thing, I think being experienced and acting experienced are two different things. Just because you have experience coming back doesn't mean that's how you act or how you play or how you are. And I think I say that to say I credit our returning guys who have really done a great job to this point of owning our team and setting a tone and being accountable to themselves and to each other. And that's been noticeable so far, and hopefully that will continue for us.
Coach Nunley, let's go ahead and stay with you right here as we talk about some things from a coaching perspective here on this one. Obviously, the last two seasons have been very different from anything that anybody's experienced before. But from your coaching perspective here, what's it mean to be able to get back out there to something that's more normal for you to manage to see your guys out there enjoying what they do?
Yeah, it's, the experience that we've all had over these last, whatever it's been now, 20, 21 months. It's been unlike anything any of us has been through before. I think two things probably stand out. One, I think we're always, I've heard this from wiser, more veteran coaches than myself, and I'm sure the other three guys might say the same, that we love what we do. We're passionate about it. We got to be careful that we don't define ourselves by our job. I don't think that that's always healthy, but we do love what we do. and we've had parts of what we do taken away, parts of maybe what we consider to be our identity as coaches and teachers, really limited, and that's impactful. And so to be able to get some of that back, and then I think kind of in the same breath, many of us get into this for a number of reasons. I don't know that there's necessarily one reason, but included in that is what I think the most rewarding part of all this, and that's the relationships that come with being a coach, working with kids almost every day for over a 4-year period, and the relationships that you build. I think Josh alluded to it a little bit when he talked. It becomes harder to build those relationships under the constraints that we've had for the last year and a half. So getting that back, being able to coach again the way that we feel like we associate as coaching, and then the relationship piece of it, getting that back the way we're used to, that's been nice.
Coach Kimbrough, I had the opportunity to see you play down there at Guilford. I know the passion that you had as a point guard for Tom Palumbo's teams. Talk a little bit about some of that you're seeing from your players here, that in kind of a different vein of what Coach Nunley was talking about, the tenor from your guys, about the way that they feel about being able to get out there to something that's a little bit more normal.
Yeah, everybody always talks about I was on those Guilford teams, but Ben Strong, Tyler Sanborn, those are the guys that made those teams pretty good. No, but our guys, it's been great to get feedback from them. It's funny. It's kind of a twofold thing. One, they're just so thankful and energized to be able to do these things. Like the things that they took for granted before, maybe an early morning lift or getting in the gym to play pickup. Like we couldn't do that last year. So the ability to learn your teammates by doing that, they've really loved that. But then also, I asked the guys the other day, they're really sore. They're just like, man, we're banged up. We're getting to play a lot more and go through these practices and be physical. And, Josh said, take care of your body. I'm like, yeah, that's a big part of it. The majority of what we did was non-contact. So I think you see this combination of the guys, really, really excited and eager and, and thankful. And then they're like, well, man, we forgot what this came with. We got to take care of our bodies and stay ready to compete when the season starts, game-wise.
Yeah. Coach Enright, kind of summing up kind of both sides of it there as we look through this, is you obviously knew you were going to coach guys. You got to recruit your program. You got to maintain some of those things like that. But managing a situation like this has got to be foreign to just about everybody. Just something you don't think about when you're taking on the job of being a collegiate head coach, of a high school head coach, of a club head coach, that sort of thing. What did you see as one of the biggest challenges for you through this that has been to manage your program?
Sort of like Clay said, the relationship building aspect, with the uncertainty of, year one last year for a lot of our guys. Year two for me was last season, and we brought in a big class, prior to the 2021 season, which was the shortened season. So, not having as much access or the starting and stopping due to things out of your control or not being allowed to, like Caleb said, play pickup early on. Those were some things that I think we all took for granted, and you had to adjust and you had to make the most out of the situation that you were in. So we looked at it as kind of like a redshirt year for everybody last year. We got some practices, we got some work on the back end, which was great. I don't think it was all negative, certainly from where we were as a program with a lot of new guys, and that last year's class combined with this year's class is the large majority of our team going into mine and my staff's third season. So it wasn't all negative. It was nice to have access to them, following the season with extra practice days and shutdowns and things like that we, were able to take some time and try to make guys better. So, no real blueprint for it. Not like any of us could call up our mentors and ask them what they did during the last pandemic. Wasn't really an option. So we had to go with what we got and, make the best of the situation and just sort of repeating to our guys, hey, this is your redshirt year. Let's get better. Let's enjoy it. And then we'll go from there. So that's been our motto.
Yeah, Coach Merkel, maybe something that's a little bit more in your face with numbers and results there is you guys went through and won the title last season with a 12-0 record coming through, got an opportunity to play some games later, but that comes on the heels of having a team that won a title in 2020 and had that opportunity for an NCAA championship and have it basically taken out from underneath you there a little bit, just with what happened with COVID, that it really knocked out all the winter championships then, and everything in the spring was gone. And then we know what happened last fall with just being able to not to do anything. Talk a little bit about what last season may have meant, though, a little bit, to be able to come back out there and have that opportunity to get a chance to play and now be more normal again for your guys with the level of program that you had there, that 2 seasons worth of NCAA possible trips that were happening.
Sure. Yeah. I think honestly, I don't like to dwell on it. I don't even like to go back and think about it. I think we've gone through our grieving process. I don't think it lasted too long. It's about, being where your feet are and being in the moment. And, we talked a lot about that stoic mindset of control what you can, control the controllables. The games have been taken away. There's certain things that we can't do, and just focused on what is in our control, our mindset, our approach. That was a big part of last year, and it was opportunities to practice those things. We talk about it a lot, but here we are. It was opportunities to get those real life reps. It's going to prepare us for down the road. One quote that we've used a lot is it's not happening to us, but it's happening for us. And so I think just the mindset and the approach, and yes, we got some things taken away, but a lot of people have. And so that other perspective of not why me, but we were able to play 12 games. I look at that as a gift. There were teams that got less. There were teams that didn't get to play in the ODAC tournament. So we were very fortunate. That could have easily been us as well. So I think perspective is a big piece to this whole thing, and just trying to work through that with our guys.
I think you're absolutely right. And gentlemen, one more thing for each of you here, about 30 seconds, if you will, to kind of give your feelings on this. But I think one of the things we were able to see last year come through for not just you guys as coaches, but with your players out there, just how much you love the game and whatnot. I want to know where that comes from for each of you. Is where did it start for you all with the love of the game of basketball for you? And Coach Merkel, I'm going to stay there right with you.
Well, my mom played at University of Maryland, so having an athletic mom who played there and then coached there for 3 years, and then she had me and 8 more kids after. So, she was my first coach, and she taught me how to shoot. We were always in the backyard, and she played into her 50s, 60s. So I would say that's where it started for me, and also celebrating my high school coaches, Coach Sutton, Coach Vetter, only deepened that passion for it.
Coach Enright, please.
I think, we all started as fans, like I remember being a little kid. I'm from Rhode Island originally. I remember going to Keeney Gymnasium at URI, the old gym, watching Lamar Odom play, when I was 8 or 9 years old. So I really enjoyed that. And, you play the game growing up, and it becomes such a big part of your life. That coaching is a great way to stay with it. And, in coaching, you serve as an educator, doing something that you love. So, that's what drives me every day, starting as being a fan.
Coach Kimbrough.
Well, I grew up in Chapel Hill, this is basketball country, but I actually grew up playing tennis, which is interesting. I think I kind of found a passion for basketball, not only through kind of the UNC Duke rivalry, and my parents having gone to Duke and just kind of instilling that in you. And then the competitiveness with all the UNC fans around, and that kind of drove kind of loving that competitive nature. But when I started playing basketball, it was really difficult. And I love the challenge. And then that just grew, I think, more and more into, what I do now, which is just help people kind of develop teams, individuals, and help them grow and motivate them. But it all started, I think, from being in Chapel Hill and being around that environment of kind of big rivalry college basketball. It was great. And
Coach Nunley.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic. My son is 10, and he was asking me this weekend about, when I started playing and a little bit about my past experience. And he's probably picked up that I wasn't much of a player, but it took me back in time trying to remember when I first started playing. And like a lot of these guys, same thing. I mean, I was 5, 6, 7 years old, went to a house where I was able to get a basket outside for the first time, and shooting on that and enjoying that experience. I know for me in coaching, that's teams I played on in college. I had some great teammates, and those guys are some of my best friends still today. And I just remember going through that and realizing at some point in those 4 years in college, just recognizing how much I was enjoying those parts of the experience, and you just don't get that in a lot of professional walks of life, but you can in sports, and in particular in coaching and in playing. And so I know that was a big draw for me to want to continue to stay in athletics, and especially in roles where these relationships can be built. And so that was a big pull for me in coaching.
Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining me here today. We wish you the best of luck as the season gets started on Friday, November 5, with a bunch of games with you guys playing there on that first weekend. So, gentlemen, thank you and good luck this season.
Thanks, JJ.
Thank you, JJ.
Thank you.